Hello. Hello. Are you able to see the slides, madam?
Yes.
Yeah. I will try to continue the slides.
Sir, we will start with the introduction and
Yeah,
all.
please, you can start.
Yeah.
You can start.
Yes.
Right. Go ahead, madam. Madam, shall I start?
No, wait, sir. I will give the introduction, then you can start.
No problem. No problem.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar conducted by NSI Bangalore chapter. Myself, Lakshmi Jitendran, Treasurer, NSI Bangalore chapter. I will be the moderator for today's session. Let us start the program with the blessings of Almighty. Before starting the session, some of the etiquettes to be followed by the participants. You will be muted with your audio and disabled with your video. Kindly do it in that same thing only, because otherwise it will disturb the speaker's presentation. We will have a question answer session at the end of the session. Chat will be enabled. You can start posting the questions once the session is started. After that, at the end of the session, the feedback link will be sent in the chat. You all can fill up the feedback link and send it back. And we will provide the certificate within 1 week or 2. Now, I invite Dr. A. Sundravalli, convener of NSI Bangalore chapter, to address the participants.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Good afternoon, one and all. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you all on behalf of NSI Bangalore chapter for this webinar on pharmacological and non-pharmacological intervention strategies for COVID-19. I will give a small intro about NSI. The Nutrition Society of India, NSI, established in 1967, is an association of nutrition professionals, programmers, and policy makers from India and abroad. The society is dedicated to disseminating the results of the latest research in nutrition, basic and applied aspects, analyze the current status of nutrition programs in the country, and recommend appropriate strategies to promote nutrition of the community at large. The NSI, through its annual meetings, provides a forum for young scientists to present their research findings. NSI is the recognized Indian representative of International Union Nutritional Sciences, IUNS, through the adhering body, Indian National Science Academy, INSA, and Federation of Asian Societies of Nutrition. The headquarters of the society is located at the National Institute of Nutrition, ICMR, Hyderabad. The NSI has 34 zonal chapters in different parts of the country, and NSI has life members, ordinary members, and student members. Technology is a boon or bane. Today, it is a boon. The pandemic has created a lot of uncertainty and ambiguity, but it has also done good. Now, for educationists and scientists, they are able to disseminate the knowledge and scientific findings to large audience, not only confining to one country, but globally. Make hay while sunshine. We are all making hay by listening and interacting with these scientific community. This is not only applicable for science and any field where there is sharing of knowledge. A special warm welcome to our speaker, Dr. B. Dinesh Kumar. National Vice President of our NSI Nutrition Society, who readily accepted our invitation to deliver this talk. Sir's strong forte is pharmacology, which he links with the experimental nutrition. Definitely, you will all have good take-home message, as Sir's talk always have evidence-based research findings and the ongoing scientific backup. Now, again, once more, I welcome all these senior NSI members, academicians, scientists, students, and dietitians across the world, because we have one participant I saw in the chat from South Africa also. So I will welcome everyone from wherever you are to this webinar. Now over to Ms. Lakshmi Jitendran. She will introduce the speaker and then take it forward. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sundaravali ma'am. It's my privilege to introduce the speaker for the day, Dr. B. Dinesh Kumar. Dr. B. Dinesh Kumar, currently working as Scientist G Cadre, Director, Great Scientist, ICMR, NIN, Hyderabad. He's the National Secretary. He was a National Secretary, former National Secretary of Nutrition Society of India, currently the Vice President, Nutrition Society of India. He was also the coordinator, Center for Advanced Research for Preclinical Toxicology, PCT, and HOD Drug Safety Division and NIN Animal Facility Counselor. He is the scientist with a pharmacology background and has contributed to ICMR NIN to break new grounds in the area of nutritional pharmacology and toxicology. He established the state-of-art facility Center for Advanced Research for the Preclinical Toxicology, completed the safety of innovative products, and strengthened the regulatory guidelines in India. He has developed several models for non-clinical efficacy evaluation of various products. He contributed in the areas of social drug epidemiology and developed the innovative intervention program in promotion of rational drug use. And it was an exclusive research work in new area of nutrition pollution interaction. He had a lot of scientific publications, including national and international, to his credit. He has written chapters in the books, popular articles, done educational movies to create an awareness of the rational use of medicines. He was a recipient of a lot of awards. So with this brief introduction, I request Sir to take over the session for the day. Over to you, sir. You can start sharing the screen. 1 second. Sir, excuse me, sir. Participants, kindly mute your audio and disable the video, because it is affecting the bandwidth of some of the other participants. Kindly mute your audio and disable the video. We will have a chat session towards the end.
Thank you very much for a nice introduction. In fact, we are very happy and feel proud to be associated with NSI for last more than half century. It becomes my duty to recall Dr. Gopalan, who completed his Harnat 1 and given a lot of inputs to the society, which we cannot forget about. This year, most likely, we may not be having the annual conference, but we can definitely go for the virtual conference. My senior colleagues are also attending the lecture. Are you able to see my slides there, madam?
No, sir. Slides yet to come. You have to share the screen, sir.
I'm sharing the screen.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Madhavi? Now it is clear?
Yes, sir. It came.
Yeah. Madam, with a thanks to NSI Bangalore chapter, in fact, it's a great pleasure and honor for me to speak to all of you. And many people are attending the conference. That also, I must tell that these 300, 400 people multiply this message to 3,000 to 3 lakh people, so that we can definitely fight back the pandemic COVID-19. With these few words, I may have to, why it is not taking. 1 minute. Can you operate from your end, madam?
Yes, sir. So shall I operate?
You please operate.
Yes, sir.
I'm not able to.
No problem, sir.
Yeah,
One
you
second.
continue.
Yeah.
I will wait. Yeah, please. Once you start, then you tell me.
Yes.
माधवी, एक मिनट नहीं आ रहा है शेयरिंग.
Sir, you shared now? Sir, kindly unmute, no? Hello? Sir, able to hear? Sir, kindly unmute your audio.
To hear.
Yeah, now able to.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir, you can.
Now you can start the second slide.
No, sir, I think the screen is shared by you only. It is yours. You have shared the screen.
Now, 1 minute, madam. Now I will come out of the sharing.
You come out of the sharing.
Now you are
I
able
will change the slides.
Yeah, now I'm coming to the second slide, please. Hello.
Hello, yes, sir. Tell me.
I am now clear. Now I am getting, you might be getting the first slide.
Yes, sir. First slide.
Second slide, I am just coming. Now, coronavirus crisis, when will the pandemic end? This is the question everyone is asking, whether it will be end or no end. But I am very optimistic that it will be end, and the answer is yes. I have put a machine gun with a vaccine which is going to take out this thing, but I am very sure we are definitely going to do it if once everyone cooperates with us. Now, my today's presentation will consist of the types of coronaviruses. What are the worst epidemics? We have to learn the things from the worst epidemics. Then history of pandemics, then pathology of COVID-19, then non-pharmacological approach and pharmacological approach. Now, I am just, because there is a lot of confusion going on. Everyone says coronavirus, what is this coronavirus? There are different type of viruses are there. If you see the screen, HKU1, NL63, then come to the SARS-CoV, that is a severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus. Then MERC, that is a Middle East respiratory syndrome. All these things will be described in detail as we go about it. Now you come to the last one where I have written that we should always use the word 2019, that is 2019-NCOV, that is called as a 2019 novel coronavirus. Now the epidemic is actually concentrated because of this virus. First, let us just understand, this virus is unique and this has a unique pathogenesis because it causes both upper lower respiratory tract infection and can also cause the gastroenteritis. This is what actually coronavirus. I am talking about the general coronavirus, not the virus about the SARS virus 2019. This is general coronavirus. In 2003, the SARS epidemic resulted in 8,000 infections, which is about, and where 10,000 people have died. And you can see the right side, the picture which has happened actually in Saudi Arabia, and Japanese were also involved. Now coming to the September 2012, this is the 6th new type of coronavirus, which was tentatively referred as a novel coronavirus 2012. This is 2019, but I'm talking to you about 2012. This virus is still distinct from it and forms a common cold coronavirus. That means common cold coronavirus is different than the present variant, and it was discovered in Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Both the places were the central where these viruses have originated. Now, coming to the WHO and the CDC, there was a Middle East Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus, which I have mentioned you in my starting slide. This is a deadliest coronavirus outbreak where it has killed 17 out of the 33 people who contracted in Saudi Arabia in the past year, that is 2017 and 18. And the World Health Organization has pledged at that time to further investigate the disease before it spread among the millions of the specific community descend on holy sites in Makkah Masjid and Makkah Medina during the Hajj pilgrimage season in the October. This was the MEC virus. What is this? Hajj pilgrimage is one of the largest mass gathering in the world, bringing about 3 million ethnically diverse community to Mecca each year. 3 million different ethnical population coming at one place, and according to the estimate from the centers of the CDC Atlanta. Now, World Health Organization from 2012 has actually established 153 laboratories to confirm where they wanted to see, including the 64 deaths which have happened because of this virus. This is one of the reasons. From 2013, the concerns were raised. These concerns were specifically raised how to avoid, because in a minimum space, the maximum population is going to be stay, and it is a tight space they will stay for several weeks, and while going, they will carry the disease which might have caught, and while returning the home, this disease spreads like anything. Why I am just putting that question to you is that in this specific coronavirus, when the government was trying to catch who spread the disease, they were catching and they were bringing to the hospitals and they were telling and testing it. And this is one of the lessons which we have to learn, why the migration of the population, gatherings of big level, we have to be careful nowadays. Now, I'm just putting the things of the viruses where I may like to say you that there are point number 4, where there are 7 different common human viruses which get infected. Human viruses, coronaviruses, alpha, beta, then gamma, then MERS, then last one is a novel coronavirus, which is called as a COVID-19 virus. And in this COVID-19 virus, if you can just see 4 to 5 different currently known strains of coronavirus infect the human. The most publicized one is a corona in SARS, which I am just showing you the picture here. And why this name corona has come is a Getty illustration where the Latin language says that corona means crown. And the crowns which are actually present on the virus, which looks like a spikes which are crown, and that is why the name coronavirus has come. These viruses, SARS viruses, do not contain DNA but only RNA. Please remember this line, because always the questions asked is it DNA? No, it is only RNA vaccine, RNA coronavirus. Now, I am just bringing to you how these 20 worst epidemics and pandemics which have happened in the history, because they will give us a lot of information how these pandemics have happened. Now, I am just bringing the first, because always it is the China which is in the forefront to spread the viruses in the world. Even now also, the people say that the stigma is China, and it is fact also when I go on presenting the slide. This picture is a prehistoric epidemic picture, circa 3000 BC, where 5,000-year-old house that now they have put that village name is a Hamin Manga, and which is in the northeast China, where there were a lot of skeletons which were there, and these skeletons were human skeletons, and this image is been taken from the Chinese archaeology picture, and this was the deadliest epidemic, which is the first available information that there was existing, and this epidemic has happened in China in this specific city. Now I'm coming to the second, the plague of Athens. You see, the wars happen. In the war, many things will take place, and in the Athens, they have to construct a big wall so that the people who died in the Athens, they should not cross the border. And this was one of the biggest plague where 1 lakh people have died, and they finally died. This is the suspicion because they have extracted some sample because of the typhoid fever or Ebola or overcrowding of the cause due to the war which has happened during this uh, program. And in this, they have just to see that this is one of the biggest first plague Athens of the 430 BC. Now coming to the Antonine plague, for which you are all aware of it. This is regarding again the Roman. The Romans have very happily came back after winning a war, and while coming, they have carried lot of smallpox and other disorders, and this has actually made 5 million people in Roman Empire have been killed due to this specific plague. Plague of Cyprian is one of the most where they have put the Cyprian, a bishop of a Carthage, in a city of Tunisia, where they have described that so many skeletons were there in the bonfire and they all died. And there was an expectation that 5,000 people died in a day in Rome alone because of this specific plague. Now, plague of Justinian, you are also aware of this, that 10% of population died during this plague. Coming to the Black Death, this is another plague type of disorder where so many people have died because of the bacterium Yersinia pestis, which have actually killed, and there was a burial and mass graves were at homes only. Now, this I am just making to you that this infection which is present in the recent study is they have extracted the DNA of this specific epidemic population, and they have seen that this infection was because of the Salmonella and paratyphic C, which has caused the enteric fever and this categoric fever because of the after taking out the DNA from the stomach and all those things they could able to see, and it has killed 15 million inhabitants of Mexico and Central America. American plague, 16th century, where you can just see the illness includes smallpox contributed to this, and sometimes it estimates that 90% of the population in the Western Hemisphere was killed off. Why again I'm repeatedly telling, I am bringing these epidemics and pandemics to you because based on this only the intervention strategies are planned. Until unless we understand how the intervention strategies come, we will not understand this epidemic history. We cannot make any big strategies here. Now, coming to the Great Plague of London, you may be aware that this is the biggest plague which has happened where 1 lakh population died. The people say that 50% of London has actually population was eliminated, and immediately after the plague there was a heat and the London was burning, and this has made the London to develop after this specific Great Plague and how to go about it. Hopefully, many countries will also learn after our COVID pandemics. Coming to the Great Plague, all the three places which I am mentioning are plague, and the population death was more than 4 to 5 lakhs. And these all happened between the 1665 to 1777, and it persisted for more than 100 years in that. Now, coming to the Philadelphia yellow fever, this yellow fever, then flu pandemic, then American polio epidemic, which was everybody is aware in the recent plan. Then Spanish flu, you all are aware that this has happened, and 500 million people from the South Seas of North Pole fell to Spanish flu. 1/5 of those died, with some indigenous communities to the brink of extinction. That means some communities have become extinct species now in that place. Then Asian flu, and this Asian flu, 1 million lives have been claimed. Then coming to the another, this is about the AIDS, about which you are all aware, 64% of the estimated 40 million living with human HIV infections in the Sahara of South Africa. Now, H1F1 flu, which was the very latest view, which you are all aware of, is that from 2009 to 2001, 1.4 billion people across the globe and killed around 1 lakh population and to 5 lakh population, which is the official report of the CDC. Then Western African Ebola epidemics. This is 2014 to 19. That is why the Remdesivir drug, which is their antiviral drug, which is protecting this specific Ebola virus, this thing. And Then this was quickly spread to Liberal, Syria, and Lebanon. The Zika virus, about which you are aware that Zika virus was present, and last 1 year back or 2 years back in Kerala, we could able to locate 1 or 2 cases of the Zika virus, and which has been controlled very well. And now I am just coming to the coronavirus. After listening to the 20 big outbreaks which have happened, pandemics, I am going to take you to this. There are so many questions which are left against the China. You are also every day watching the newspaper, how the China is actually responding to it, and why the China reviving the stigma for China is a very, very important. Once you just go through this slide, you can just see first thing which I have shown you is that 5,000-year-old. Then in the 20th century, there were two things. One in 1957, that is Asian flu. Hong Kong 1968, another flu. Then coming to the bird flu, which has actually believed to be originated from China itself. Then the second one is acute respiratory SARS 2003, which has killed 774 people, and it has spread again to the other places. And it has come from the exotic meat, that is farm civet sold as exotic meat, and from that place this has been identified. And sixth one, which is just last year, they have killed many pigs in their country, and there is a 50% of the Chinese pigs have been killed. In China, the pigs is a delicacious food, and the pigs are not available. Now they have put a blanket ban on importing the pigs also. And this is how the whole information has been hidden. The photograph which I have kept you is during the coronavirus, the volunteers are actually spraying the disinfectant to all the people who are crossing through the road of Wuhan. Now, I am just going to take you to the historical prospect of our coronavirus, how this coronavirus 2019 came, because these are some of the important things which we have to really understand. There is a reality, but the reality is that on 31st December, that means the Chinese people never celebrate the New Year ceremony on 31st. They celebrate in January middle. So they never celebrate, but on 31st, officials reportedly mentioning that pneumonia of unknown etiology in Wuhan city. But there is a mixed reality. The mixed reality is that 8th December 2019, Wuhan city central has this specific virus, and which has been kept in dark. This is the question of doubtful integrity, but we can't say with reference to China. So 31st December and 8th December, there is a lot of gap. During this 21 days to 23 days, the population has migrated like any this thing. Now, the Republic of China, China has informed WHO only on 31st this thing. On 1st January 2020, the city of Wuhan was closed. That means the wet market was closed, and they have shut down all the shops in the Wuhan city, which is very important. Now, coming to the 7th January, they told officially announced that there is a virus which is of non-etiology of pulmonary pneumonic pulmonary infection, and it is a novel COVID. On 7th January, official declaration came from China, and on 10th January, they have sequenced, viral genome was sequenced and was released in a public domain. So please remember, 1st to 10th, all these incidences. Then coming to the 12th January, because WHO is also in a controversy nowadays, and this controversy is very well known to you, all of you. This controversy is because when you give a lecture, then you will understand the controversies of a WHO. They have declared on 12th January from the Wuhan, and they have mentioned that yes, there is a virus. Now, how did it actually happen? Because in Italy, the people have taken these posters, which I am just putting. Please hug me. I am a Chinese. I am not a virus. And Italy has launched a program that is called as Hug a Chinese campaign to fight coronavirus induced racism. Please mark my word that this word is very, very important. And this is how this hugging program has spread in Italy, and the whole thing has become the affected in Italy is because of the Chinese hugging program. And from there, 53 countries, international travel has happened, and from there it came to 53 countries. So the issue is here, why the China, when the December 31st also, they should have stopped the international travel. They should have confined to the land area. These are the questions which really ponders you why this has happened, why the things have not changed. Now, I am just taking to the historical prospects of the India. Why India is important? Why Indian government? Because there are so many things, questions being asked by our great leaders, both from the running government and opposition government. Without the realities in this thing, and we are all scientific community, we also have to face these issues. 30th January 20, first case of COVID in Kerala on return of one person from Wuhan, China to Kerala. That is the first case on 30th January. And when you are going to put a graph on the mark today and what happened on 30th January and in between those days, they are important for us to develop an intervention program. 3rd February 20, additional 2 cases have come. 30th January, 3rd February, 2 cases. Now, during the declaration of 12th January itself, why the government of India has not streamlined the screening at the airport? That is another question which they are just putting in. And there was a good time for us to prepare, and we have prepared accordingly, and the screening has started, but the screening was partially stringent, and still there were the things, and this is where actually certain things which we have to understand. Now, number of cases for 30 days in India were only 3. Only 3 from the January to February. Now, this whole thing has happened on 12th January from my own city, that is Hyderabad, where one 76-year-old man who came from Saudi Arabia, who roamed between Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Gulbarga. And this person has contacted not less than 25 to 30 people while traveling in a car, returning from Bangalore 2 times or 3 times. And this is how the first spreading incident which can be traced. Then 14th March 20, this is a very eye-opening importance that why the civil society or the civil people don't take the responsibility of just checking who is visiting us, who is in the compartment, because some non-local people who call themselves as a self-styled evangelist, they were coming from Delhi, where there was a big religious gathering happened at this in the heart of the Delhi city, and they were traveling by Sampark Kranti Express S9 coach, and they traveled to Karimnagar. And these evangelists were actually stayed there for 7 days in Karimnagar, and they have infected around 227 people. When they have traced back from where did they come, then they found out that it is the Delhi Nizamuddin place, and in the Nizamuddin place there were 9,000 people, voluntary groups were present at one place for more than 2 weeks. And there the people have spread after the meeting is over to different parts of the country, and to locate them, by the time the location has happened, the infection has also spread. And on 15th March, 128 March, it was 1,000. So just to see the picture, how the things have spread like any this thing. The 31st March, religious cognition was 9,000 missionaries at New Delhi, which was a hotspot. And on 7th April, our figures were 5,000. And on 14th April, it was 10,000. In 7 days, we have crossed 5,000. Then also the things were under control. Lockdown was there, all those things. But our 10,000 to 1 lakh took 64 days. 10,000 population to reach 1 lakh positive cases, it took at least 64 days. But 15 days, we have reached to 2 lakhs. This 1 lakh has become a 2 lakhs from these 64 days to this day. And total cases by the time it was April end, it was 6 lakh. Now today's dashboard, I am talking to you the current dashboard, we are 11 lakhs, above 11 lakhs population which are positive corona. Now the people are asking why the Indian government is not doing the testing to the large. Yes, that is a big good question, but the answer is that today ICMR has a data screening of 1 crore 43 lakhs. 1 crore 43 lakhs tests have been done, which is the highest in the world. And every day, our capacity of ICMR is 3,30,000 per day now, which was started from the 100,000 to this level in a span of 1.5 months. So our human resources, our intelligentsia, our scientific community has really worked hard to come to this stage. And this is where we have to really appreciate the ICMR, the NIV Pune, and many of the people who are in the front line of this. Today we have 4 lakh active cases. We have discharged 7,25,000 cases, and deaths are only 28,000. Please check it. It is only 28,000. Now, the here one ratio is important. Out of 11 lakh, you are able to see 1 crore. You are able to see 11 lakh. That means you are not getting more than 16% positive cases when you are testing it. So we are actually doing. When I go into the furthermore slide, I will tell you how the serovalence report and data where ICMR can give the substantial evidence that our testing procedures are perfect and we are going as per the norms. Now, this graph is very, very important. You can just check it from December 31st till March 14th or 15th. There was not a single case in India after the reports. It's April 30th, June. Now we are actually in a highest stage that every day we were getting 37,000 cases. On June 19th, we got the same. July we got the same number. 18th July, 19th July. On 21st July, that means yesterday we have reduced to 37,000. If everything goes well, this graph should come down, or the graph should stabilize for some time and it should come down. But we cannot just say, but we can definitely say we are in a peak of the infections. So many a times the things are that the developed countries are very good, but developed countries are thoroughly exposed after the corona infection. If you take America, America had a case on 6th February, which they have never reported in Washington state. On February 6th to 6th March, 3 people died and their autopsies have confirmed the covenant, which also has not been told and which was told only on 21st April. So imagine the date. Then 11th March, the WHO declared COVID-19 pandemic, and after that we have received the 1,26,000 population were present in America. 213. This coronavirus today is present in 213 crores countries and territories. Now, global estimation, yesterday up to 3:49 p.m. information I am giving you, there is something like a 1 crore 45 lakh population is getting suffered, 6 lakh people have died, and this is the official figure till date out of the tested. That means this global pandemic is very seriously going up. Now, let us just understand what is this coronavirus. This virus is actually a common in animals of all kinds. Since the start of the century, 2 coronavirus originated from bat and they jumped to human. One is SARS, one is MERS, that means Middle East, and the SARS outbreak. These are the 2 viruses which have been jumped from the bat to the human population. Now, question mark is there. What do you mean by jumping of these viruses of the people who consume the seafood, or it has come to a wet market? From what source? Because there are so many ifs and buts are there, but I can share you some 2-3 things which there is a possibility. These viruses are kept under the BSL-4 facility. India also has isolated viruses. We have a BSL-4 facility. From in BSL-4 facility, this is a suspicion which cannot be recorded on any paper. Suspicion is that they were doing certain experiments with the bat, doing the challenging studies with a bat by giving the coronavirus and testing certain drugs. And these bats, after the experiments are over, have been sold in the wet market. That is a doubtful case. Are the clothes which the person or he or she was wearing into the whole this thing, and the origination is not clear. That is why I have written And then genetic sequencing of the new virus is 96% identical to one coronavirus which is found in bat. That means the bat is the way by where the coronavirus is similarity. So there is a easy this thing. Now in coronavirus, you can have the different type of belonging to coronavirus. It has a very good high lipid layer, E protein, S protein, and M protein. What do you mean by these different type of proteins which are there? If I take you to the next slide, you will understand what does it mean. This is a transmission electron microscopy picture of a COVID which is been in the world, other countries picture, which shows that the spikes and all this M protein, G protein, and a fat layer which is surroundingly been covered. And that is why we were repeatedly telling, use sodium hydroxide, that is a soap. And once you wash the soap, the fat get dissolved, the RNA comes out and it will die. That is why repeated washing is being advised. Now I am putting the right side of your slides is that this is the picture which ICMR NIV Pune has isolated the virus, which looks like the same virus with the world over. So we were successfully able to have the coronavirus with live viruses which are related with our BSL-4 PCT, and this is the electron picture which is available in ICMR IJMR journal. Now if you see the picture, the molecular picture, this is a spike glycoprotein, this is a E protein, this is a membrane protein, and this is a RNA, which is a clear-cut illustration that the RNA is the place where we are there, and once you kill the fat, then automatically it comes out and there is no life for the virus. Now, the genomic picture. In this genomic picture, it is a SES linear non-segmented positive sense of RNA. And it is the largest among the all viruses. You can just see this is the largest RNA sequence. That is what the coronavirus sequencing is. Now, always there are some doubts about the testing of the coronavirus. Even today, the RT-PCR is the only test which is a gold test to confirm coronavirus positive from the mucus of the nasal excreta or the throat, the swab. That is the only way where you can gold standard about the coronavirus positive. That is the only gold test which is nothing beyond this is to confirm. Now coming to many people will be asking what is this detection of serological test of antibodies for diagnosis of the population surveillance. Yeah, I may just like to mention here that the immune response of any of these things, the antibodies including IgM and IgG are formed. This IgM which is formed, which will show the latest infection status. Whereas coming to the IgG, in the IgG, it can be up to 3 to 4 weeks. If you are infected, then it can show the specific IgG coronavirus presence or not. But in case of IgM, and it is a neutralizing antibody, which is very much important and responsible, which will have a very short half-life in case of coronavirus. Today, the vaccine development question also is in front of you. When there is such a short time that it will be present as a neutralizing antibody, that means you are not able to keep the antibodies for a longer time to have the memory and to act on it. So that is the challenge which the vaccinologists are now facing. The same way, the serological test can show you the positive of IgG present and IgM present, only the latest infection, and if it is IgG is present, it will be a late infection. And these are all 30% to 60% accuracy, but not 100% accuracy. Then there was a ICMR controversy which went on into the newspaper that ICMR has unnecessarily promoted the Korean kit, Chinese kit, this kit, that. ICMR has tested all the kits. None of the kits were found to be equal, not even more than 30% accuracy. So they have withdrawn. Now only thing ICMR, NIV, Pune, Zydus Cadila have developed the serum antibody testing which are specific COVID, which is available in the market. Other institutes, CSIR, CCAB, which with NIN is also collaborating, are now going to give you the another kit by which we can just detect the positive case or a presence of a earlier exposure of the coronavirus exposure, which we can easily guess out of it. So be clear, this RT-PCR is clear test, which is the gold standard. Now, then you will be asking, sir, guidelines are changing. Yes, guidelines are changing. Asymptomatic person who has not actually having, but he has the corona positive, we are recommending him to be house quarantine rather than the hospital quarantine. In the house quarantine, you can just have the recommended kits are there. Those kits we are just providing. Now, how the virus get infected? You see, if I'm just putting the onset from 0 up to 7th day of admission, nothing will be present in the body. That means symptomatology also will be very, very less. That is only ordinary coughing, cold, and we will be just guessing it. But 7th day to 14th day, it will be miserable. So you can just see 40% of the people who will have the shortness of the breath. On 8th day, it is 15%, and 40 of one age group, 21 age group, 11th age group, and age of 6. So all these things actually makes a lot of sense in shortening of the breath. And so 8th to 12th day is a very, very serious day, and 14th day is the, really speaking, if the sustained, then there is a chance that he can survive. And the onset of illness were fever, cough, myalgia or fatigue. Why I am mentioning you? Fever means you will again go for antibiotic. Cough means you will go with some antihistamine. Myalgia means now we are having the interferon beta. And fatigue also is having a drug for which we can give it to it. Now 32% get admitted to ICU, and now it is less than that. Now presently the conditions are improved. It is not 32, it is the old data. Now ICU and 6 people out of these 13 have died. This is the old data which I am just projecting to you. Now our improvement data is 64%, where you can more than 64% can improve upon the coronavirus. Now, I will just be showing you one of the signs. You see this virus, we must understand that this virus is very nicely they have used the word in science that it is from vessels to the brain. It damages from the vessels to the brain. So that means this coronavirus, how it happened, common symptoms are these. These are all shortness, breathlessness and everything, but it affects every part of the organ. It needs oxygen. It goes into the lung, incubate itself, start taking the oxygen from the lung, then kidney, from brain and all those things. How it enters, that also I will be just showing you. And all these things happen usually 3 to 7 days only, which I have shown you earlier, and has an incubation period estimated to be 1 to 14 days. Now, this impact, I will sharing the slide, you can just see how the mucus get eliminated and how this oxygen is there. I am just putting able to see that ACE2 inhibitor. Why ACE2 inhibitor? Because this coronavirus enters from the ACE enzyme into the body, and this is how it works, and it will multiply, and that is why many a times the drugs have been tried ACE2 inhibitor. Whenever the person who is depending on the ACE2 inhibitor for hypertension treatment, and if he is on a corona, then there will be a serious chance and a comorbid condition which will arise because of this. Now, I am just giving you that this COVID can lead to acute respiratory area symptoms. Health risk, you can just see the alveoli, the inflamed air sacs, and these air sacs are image adapted from this thing, and oxygen is transferred from the blood, and this is how it takes away the oxygen. Now, this is the most important picture where the complete details are given. This has appeared in a science where you can just see the lungs are ground zero, but COVID also tears through organ system from brain to blood vessel, which I have mentioned in the study. That is why the coronavirus is very, very dangerous, and healthy tissue get damaged because of the small infection. And it is a airway flooding with debris and flu, pneumonia. All these things are known, but one answer is that lungs are ground zero, but COVID-19 also tears through organ system from the brain to blood vessel. Now coming to the uh, ha- we have to now move on to the intervention strategy. Before we enter into intervention strategies, these lessons we have to learn how five histories of worst pandemics have ended, whether they have ended or the humans why they have ended and how they have ended. You see, as a human civilization, we are in the large number of proximity, people living in a close proximity to each other and to the animal, often with a poor sanitation and nutrition. Again, I am putting you that this nutrition is a very, very important for all disorders and provide the fertile breeding grounds for the disease. And overseas trading routes spread to the novel infection from various categories for first global pandemic. Please very carefully take this word why some of the earliest pandemics faded by wiping out the parts of the population. That means one district they have killed and the population has been euthanized, and then followed by the medical and public health initiatives which were able to halt the spread of other diseases. And this is where we are optimistic that the pandemic, corona pandemic, will also be fought by us in this fashion. Now you can just see what are those five pandemics and how they have ended and why not now? We can do now also. If you take a plague of Justinian, no one left to die. Those who survived during this period, they had a immunity. That means we were not knowing anything, but this is what had happened. Black Death. The word quarantine, which is now we are constantly using, has come from the Black Death. And this Black Death means what? The population have actually were in the houses and they have been kept, and this continued for 4 years. 4 years, remember, and 200 million lives in just 4 years have been vanished. And this then the whole thing has started, and the origin of this word quarantino, the origin of the word has started, and this is why we called it as a quarantine. So we are repeatedly telling quarantine is the only word and only vaccine. Now coming to the Great Plague of London, what happened there? The 1 lakh population killed, which I have mentioned you, they set up the sick in their homes and buried dead, and mass graves have been made at the homes itself. And it has been the only way to bring the last great plague outbreak to an end. That means kill the population, and that is how the plague has come to. Now coming to the smallpox, a European disease ravages the old world, and where the vaccine has been developed in 18th century by a British doctor, and this vaccine world came from that time onward. So we have won over the smallpox virus, and that is how the vaccine came in it. Now we are also looking for the vaccine which will facilitate us, but there are other alternatives by which we can definitely make it. And about the cholera, you know very well, we have come out of the cholera, which is the biggest public health work and victory of the public health research. And this public health research one of the important things which we are always talking is a lacking of adequate sewerage and poor sanitation and poor drinking water. That is why the Prime Minister is always insisting about the Swachh Bharat. Then only there is a Swasth Bharat, which is a very, very important. We have to learn from this. This is the table which I am just taken it, where you can just calculate your risk from a high level to the medium level. So based on this only, you have to just see whether you are in a high risk zone or a low risk zone. And this high risk and low risk zone will provide you the information where you stand at. That is how you plan your office or visit to outside. Otherwise, you please calculate and try to be at home rather than visiting in a public place, specifically for the people who are above 60 years. Now coming to what is the non-pharmacological applications which we have to really think about it. Believe me, one of the best thing which our Prime Minister has done is a Janta Curfew, which was a novel approach, and it has gone as a historical importance on 22nd March by clapping the hands in the balcony. The people have taken it in a different angle, but the reality is that why he has done, there are 2-3 reasons. One is that every people should become a stakeholder of the society. And once he becomes a stakeholder of the society, then he will come to know what is coronavirus. And it should not be linked to any religious this thing as the politicians start. Absolutely not. And first thing which he has done is a Janta curfew on 22nd March, which has clearly indicated that it is because of that. Now, coming to the second this thing, which he has started, was on 5th April Sunday night, lit the candles. Lighting the candles is every religion does. And they are told that darkness of the corona. Who would live? You see, I am putting a photograph as a doctor, nurses, police personnel, scavengers, who all have actually lit the lamp, and to bring and to salute them for their services, we have done this activity. And we call them as a thank you angels in human. All medical, paramedical, supporting staff, all have contributed and all have become the stakeholders. So we are still in a control of the pandemic. So this is what the non-pharmacological approach is. Now coming to one more approach. One more approach is that social distancing and isolation. That means there is a confinement area. When we have made a confinement area, nobody wants to listen. The people have started behaving in their own fashion. And these confinement areas have been poorly monitored at certain states, and which I need not tell you. Today, the maximum contribution of coronavirus cases is Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, New Delhi. These four states, if you take them away, 80% of our coronavirus are minimum. If you put them together, we are actually 3 to 4 lakh for such a big population of 130 crores. So this is where we have to understand the administration understanding is very important. Now, our best vaccine, which our Director General was always telling in the interview, Dr. Balram Bhargava, wear a triple layer mask, social distancing and isolation, and follow the government direction. This is the best way of non-pharmacological treatment. Now, I am just coming to our own favorite this thing, nutrition immunity, which is one of the important aspect in the whole this thing. You know very well, ICMR has completed 100 years with a dedicated service to the nation for effective nutrition. Recent interview of our Dr. Hemlata in a micronutrient has very clearly mentioned that micronutrient play a synergistic role in supporting the immunity. And in this, you can just see how there is no evidence much, but there are some evidences which are very clear that higher BMI people are becoming very risky. So it is a preliminary data, but we have to do the analysis of the data. And the immunity and the nutrition is very important at all stages of this thing, where immunity plays an important role, which you are also aware about. Now coming to the India has already a high burden of malnutrition, micronutrient deficiency, and infections are likely to become more increased. And this is where again we have to supplement the micronutrient. Coming to the one example of a poor woman, pregnant woman, who will be always having a poor nutritional status and nutritional intake, and a gestation can adversely affect the immune response or imprinting and respiratory organ, which will be in a developmental stage in the fetus. So you have to have this important phase to increase the immunity to the pregnant woman. We have to really search out the solutions. Micronutrient vitamin A, C, D, B12, E, zinc, selenium, iron plays very important synergistic role of the immunity and require an adequate amount to scavenge the toxins and modulate the inflammation during the infection. The government has really made a big plan, gigantic effort to keep India hunger free and healthy, providing the staple diet and incentives for the low income families migrant. I may also like to mention here that very soon, that means we got majority of the approval, we are going to have the nutrition supplement and impact in the COVID infection studies, for which we are now going to take the lead, and this will be done very soon. We will still strongly advocate our nutrition plate, and this nutrition plate will provide you a lot of micronutrients, macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and everything. So please advocate this. Now here itself, I may like to say that many Ayurvedic preparations are available in the market, which are immunoboosters. Yes, there is no doubt our system has power to just boost the immunity. But problem is with this Ayurveda system of medicine is lack of evidence-based documentation. There should be a appropriate documentation so the global people should visualize and understand, yes, this can be a considered as this thing, for which now I think Ayurveda ministry is also working hard to bring such type of documentations. Now, one more important thing, when we have told the strict guideline, we are requesting that nobody, we should not use this N95 mask with a filter or N95 mask. This is a government guideline, and everybody, once we get something, we will just go for the N95 mask. Now, when I have shown you the manifestation, now pharmacological therapy also I must talk. So it is all ACE2 enzyme, which is present in a renal epithelial cells, and this coronavirus enters and it will just cause proteinuria and microhematuria. So this is the specialty, but once it enters into the cell, we can do one ACE2 enzyme inhibitor, but that also is not functioning because of the viral layer which is very strong and it cannot penetrate there. Now coming to the another thing is that cytokines, the cytokine levels which are going up very high with a pro-inflammatory cytokine, and these are one indirect way of actually measuring the immune modulator activities by doing this. Now antiviral drugs. Now coming to the antiviral drugs, because there are so many students which I may like to just to show you one slide how the antiviral drugs actually work. Yes, this is the targets of the viruses. This will be the fat layer and we have to enter into this and a virus release has to come out. It is very difficult to penetrate this layer. This layer is very, very difficult. So that is why antiviral drugs, all antiviral drugs cannot be antiviral for some specific viruses. And even for there is no existing foolproof antiviral drug even till today. So that is why it is very difficult to get the virus antiviral drug as a medication. Now coming to the bacteria, about which you all are aware how the in bacterial antibacterial activities take place, cell wall inhibition, protein synthesis, these are all well established facts. So we are able to control the plague and bacterial infections very comfortably, but not the viral infections. Now coming to this thing which they have shown is that widely used, promised evidence or tentatively or mixed response, not promising, all frauds, and there is a pseudoscience information. Like this, the 19 coronavirus infection programs have been introduced, and this program, I'll just take you to the ICMR, before ICMR survey, there are certain important things which the students can take the project in a very important way. The projects like, when we say vigilance program, I still would like to recall, if Dr. Kamala Krishna Swami is there, my first appointment was like a vigilance study only. And in the vigilance study, I never used to understand why madam is asking me to do how many drugs, what for they are used. When we published the data, it was a really amazing study. So now we are requesting, even now in FSSAI, we are requesting that so many misadvertisements, misleading. Today itself, when I was reading a newspaper, one bread company has put some Ayush components and they have started selling the bread, mentioning that it is an immunity booster bread. So which is not a correct way of approach, and which is actually a fraud science. Now the same way I am requesting the student, now recently you have come across how the WHO was actually put up in a blank. Trump says hydroxychloroquine is a very good drug because it actually works on a hemoglobin breakdown, it metabolizes hemoglobin breakdown, and in this case also the hemoglobin is required. That is how they have started it. Every time Dick and Harry started giving the hydroxychloroquine as a preventive prophylactic chapter, and ICMR is also recommending even now, but WHO says no, it should be withdrawn, and it was withdrawn, but immediately based on what? Based on a paper which is published in a Lancet. Lancet is a highly impact journal. Remember, the things are that there are science which also have played a lot of politics. It is not that science is very pure. The science also had a lot of politics, and why the Lancet has published and why the Lancet has withdrawn. Was there is therapeutic audit? Was there was a no therapeutic audit? The Lancet has to withdraw hydroxychloroquine paper. because it was not showing this thing. And these are the all controversies by which a student can make one good vigilance program. How many are yes, how many are no, how many are independent, and how many places it has happened. So you please take this type of vigilance studies and make a story out of it, or make a good scientific publication. This can become a vigilance program for you. So this is about the hydroxychloroquine. Now coming to the remdesivir, which is an antiviral drug which is being recommended for the treatment of Ebola, and which is actually been FDA approved drug, which is now in use, which has shown some promising result to reduce the infection time, but not actually do, because it only restricts the growth of a virus. It will not kill the virus. Only 30% beneficial it is. The 30% of the days hospitalization can be reduced. Coming to the dexamethasone, which is actually again you can correlate with your pneumonic type of infections where the dexamethasone is given. Here also it has reduced the deaths of it. Now there are some tentative, that means there is no correct information, but there is a mixed information that favipiravir, which is one of the drug which is used for the influenza treatment or smallpox treatment, and this is how they have used the whole this thing. Now I have seen one of the clinical studies where they have taken three compounds together. One is the chloroquine, leponavir, and interferon beta on alternate day. This has shown a little bit of clinical efficacy of a drug. One beta is because of it works on a muscular dystrophy, and this is antiviral drug, and this is again going to act as an antiviral in specific conditions. So these are all pharmacological interventions which we are repeatedly talking to you. There are several questions now put, whether the BCG vaccine in India, who takes, whether it is protecting or not. Yes, the study is going on. This is the question in front of the ICMR. They have already started the study. Now, I just go to this. Our ICMR contribution was that zero survey, which has showed that 0.73% of 83 district population was tested, and 192 people have shown the infection of this thing. So what is this study? What for this study has been done? The ICMR wanted to know how much population in various districts, because the community is spreading. Now the question comes, the community, has the coronavirus spread to the community? You can just say partially yes, but reality no. Why? How many districts? 872 districts in the country. Only 200 or 300 districts are shown corona positive. Rest of the districts are not positive. Not even aware of what is a coronavirus. So you cannot just say, but in area where the virus has come, it has spread, and it has spread through a community or contacts or whatever maybe. Then again, they will say that it is airborne. Yes, airborne at what level? If you are not maintaining a 6 feet difference or 8 feet distance, then it will be airborne. And if you are in a big gathering and there is a continuous AC going, it will become airborne. When you are just going open with nobody is there, it will survive only for a shortest period. So you cannot call at that time the airborne. So many controversies are beyond this. And let us just go to the clarities about this airborne disease, about the responses, then whether the BCG vaccine defends or not. The non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agents like many they will be giving, just they are all symptomatic therapies. And today, even today, there is no antiviral drug. Now coming to the vaccines, every day you are seeing one statement or other statement from many companies. In India, we have 4 big companies which are actually working on this. One is Bharat Biotech, second is Serum Institute, third is Zydus Cadila, fourth is Indian Immunological Limited. And all these things, out of which the 2 companies have already started giving it to the phase 1 trial. That means this trial is only preliminary to know and escalating doses. It will take minimum 7 months to come the vaccine into the market. They have to undergo the phase 2 trial. When they are going to give a permission to phase 2 trial, there will be parallelly animal experiments will also go. In the animal experiments, we will come to know how many multi-generation impact, how much is the immunity, what will be sustained. If the sustainability is not long, then how we should go about it. We have to even identify the formulation by changing lot of vehicles. So it is a big challenge to everyone. So vaccine should come, but We are not very sure whether the vaccine will come before end of this year. Now, coming to the what happened actually, big impact. You can just see the impact is that the cosmetic industry badly affected. The lipsticks are covered by the mask. MSME supported industries absolutely collapsed. Hotel, tourism, hospitality, there is no question of any hospitality, no hotel, no tourism. And unemployment has increased. Now, but it also has given a lot of challenge to the government where we have developed the Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant Indian mission. Here you can just see because there are so many loopholes in MSMEs. The government has taken every loophole and attending to it. So many loopholes. I cannot say red tapeism or this tapeism or whatever may be. Now coming to the increase of FDIs in the defense sector. Now we have become so strong that our FDI has become strong and we are able to make our own defense system strong. Solar manufacturing sector has grown up like anything. The best answer is that we were importing the PPE kits. We were importing the mask, PPE kits before the March. And on the after the March, when we said we are not going to import anything from China, then we have become the number 2 to China. And today we are economy has actually 7,000 crore rupees we have earned about. Then you see our alumni IIT Alumni Council, which has aimed and supported us with a 21,000 crore. So all these things, that means to make us self-reliant and the COVID type of infection, you can just have not put the railway coaches, how our railway coaches have improved, which is an innovative idea. And all these things are ready with us. And we have learned a lot of things. Every missionary came, the missionary which was just rusting and have started spraying the disinfectants all over the country. So the positive points we have to see that in the pandemic, the country has to learn and they have to rise to these things. So that is why we are very confident that please maintain the deadly spread. We can just stop by making the social distancing. The social distancing should be minimum 6 to 8 feet and wash your hands with a soap. Have the good immunity booster food. Then you can have a Swachh Bharat, Swasth Bharat, and Samruddha Bharat. Now coming to this, and this person who has repeatedly telling that it is not a man-made virus. It is the origin, it is not a man-made virus. It is invented in a laboratory or nothing. So please be clear that he is the person who is declaring people are having a objection that man-made virus by, no, it is not man. Now ICMR rapid response team for COVID, you can submit your project based on the subject of interest and you can just take a support of financial this thing for undertaking any research programs on this with a mobile number, everything is been provided. Now this is NIN and I myself and my Dr. Hemlata, then we are going into the field, we go with the COVID this thing and collected the samples to do this thing. And all MLAs, social, civil society members, everybody has supported our every activity. You can just see the newspaper cuttings are there. Finally, I request humanity should never allow a repeat of same mistake which has happened in 1918. Relaxation is given by the government. Corona has not given a relaxation. And this history you must read that in 1918 this mistake was happened. The people 50 million deaths have happened after giving this, which was only 500 this thing. And you have to be really careful and we request that you all have to be at home. You have to isolate yourself, wear the mask and keep the social distancing. And this is what I would like to share with you. Any questions, I will be glad to answer. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful presentation. Really, it was an eye-opener to know more about the different perspectives of COVID-19, which is the pandemic right now we all are going through. And you have given a very good insight about the pandemic which was existed globally before this also. So currently we all are going through the same situation. So as sir told, we have to maintain social distancing and be safe at home. Sir, Can you just unmute your audio?
Yeah, please,
Okay, we have a couple of questions.
please.
Yeah. So the first question, okay. SARS-CoV-2 is an RNA virus. How
Yes.
much efficacy can a vaccine have since RNA is an unstable compound and has a high rate of mutation?
Yes, the question, very good question. In fact, that is one of the reasons we are not able to develop a vaccine. The vaccine development is that I mentioned you when in my lecture that neutralizing antibodies, which are very, very short-lived. And so many mutations are taking place. For example, if I give a vaccine, it should at least sustain for 3 months or 4 months. And it should not, it is not even sustaining for several weeks. The months is a different issue. So now they are trying to develop the vehicles and they are doing other type of studies. Somewhere we will definitely click, but we cannot just say 100% we will click.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, another one more question. Share your views about the extent of contribution of nutraceuticals in COVID-19. Sir, unmute your audio, no?
If I tell you my honest answer, we are not able to do with the pharmaceutical preparations itself because we don't have any antiviral drug. But it does not qualify my answer that we will have a nutraceutical. Yes, we could have, but these nutraceuticals can only boost the immunity where you can work like a prophylactic rather than the therapeutic substances. Like so many curcumin, turmeric, ginger, tulsi, all these advertisements are there. But the level of these advertisements, we have to seriously consider that how best. Now, some studies they are doing on a paramedical staff. Let us wait for this clinical data outcome and then we will work it out. But as a nutrition institute, we are very evidence-based studies are there that micronutrient deficiency reduces the immunity. And in COVID patients, what is the level of immunity it was having based on our surveys, which we are now doing it, will definitely provide the answer. That is what I can tell.
Sir, next question. We have seen a range of symptoms from the start of the outbreak. Presently, we are seeing the mild symptoms or asymptomatic patients. What future symptoms can we predict for the novel coronavirus? Sir, unmute your audio.
I am thinking that you will be unmuting. Okay, no problem. But the asymptomatic person, whether this asymptomatic person is really carrier or not, that question is still not been answered by the community. We are just WHO also is not able to. One day they say asymptomatic person will not carry, but some days they know it will be carried. Like if you say that IgG based on that, he will be having a 3 weeks before infection, but he has developed antibodies. Same way, the asymptomatic person can develop antibodies, but during that 14 days, if he is exposing to others, whether he is carrying a virus, is now becoming a serious issue, which they are working on. Over to you, madam. Over to you, Lakshmi. Hello.
Lakshmi, ask the next question. Lakshmi? Hello?
Hello, ma'am. Able to hear?
Yeah, now we can
We are
hear.
able to hear you.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah. What is the effect of phytochemical compounds on the COVID spike protein using bioinformatic tools? What is the best way to study?
Unmute, sir.
Sorry, I am in one of the ICMR screening committee. we are getting a lot of bioinformatics data that is based on the what we call doc scoring, and that only 10% may qualify to the in vitro evaluations. Only 10%. And rest will, these 10%, when they go for the animal challenging experiment, only 1% may also not come to us. So that is the problem. Only thing, structural relationship they will be showing with the antiviral RNA drugs.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, one question. Is pneumonia related to COVID, as in cough and breathing difficulty? Is it interconnected?
We cannot just say interconnected. Pneumonia, that is why the Wuhan, the confusion was there. Why it is not like a pneumonic condition. It is non-pneumonic condition, where I am repeatedly mentioning it, tears of the vessels to the brain. So lung is only the place where it gets located, but it takes away the oxygen. Whereas in pneumonic condition, we can able to treat the things. But here we cannot treat anything until unless the antiviral drug which can restrict the growth. That's all.
Sir, one question. Can Ayurveda medications can be tested for antiviral properties and implemented in the current scenario?
Madam, Ayurvedic drugs, we see there is no doubt there are some good Ayurvedic preparations are there. Now, in vitro antiviral activity evaluation is a challenging task with Ayurvedic drugs, because we should have a water, salt, or other alcohol, salt, then lyophilized, then we have to test it first to find. So, in vitro, it is very difficult to get the IC50. Then coming to the challenging studies, we have done so far, but no promising result has still come out. But the claims in the clinical studies to a paramedical staff is being claimed by the Ayurvedic system of medicine. But still it has to be documented. The documentation is not there where they can show that evidence-based Ayurveda is going to work on that.
Okay, we can take two more questions because the time is up. One question, sir. Is that true, the polio vaccination protecting Indians from COVID-19?
Polio, smallpox, these are the two vaccines. They may be protecting, but ICMR study has just started. The results are not come.
Okay. Shall we give the RDA recommendations, or shall we increase the dosage for them if they are affected?
Your question is your answer. Because RDA is definitely which we are supposed to recommend for the population, that they should take minimum RDA. Now the question comes, is it 2 RDA or is it a 4 RDA? If we are going to give it more than a 2 RDA, then it becomes a therapeutic drug. If it is a 4 RDA also, it becomes a therapeutic drug. Now we have to put a line where we should give the recommended dose for the prevention, for the daily use, and for the therapeutic purposes. These 3 lines, and NIN actually is going to come out with a RDA book very soon. Most likely before December, they are going to give the new RDA book. That will open up a lot of regulatory issues, and we can resolve many issues which are pending for a long time in India.
Sir, last question, since you are from the drug field, no? I will just end up the session with this question only. Arsenic album 30 is being distributed as a preventive measure for COVID. Is it really effective?
No, it comes under the pseudoscience contribution.
Okay. Okay. Sir, a lot of messages are coming from the participants regarding your presentation. Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
So thank you. Messages are coming only. Okay, now I call upon Dr. Mary Mireji, Department of Nutrition and Dietetics, co-convener NSI Bangalore chapter, for giving vote of thanks.
Thank you, Lakshmi. You can hear me, Lakshmi?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
It gives me great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks, sir. I, on behalf of the convener and the executive committee of NSI Bangalore chapter, would like to propose the thank you to Dr. Dinesh for having taken time off his busy schedule and giving his time appropriate, giving a lecture appropriate to this Sir, you have detailed the lecture from the initiation of an epidemic to an impact of the epidemic, covering historical perspectives, transmission, testing, signs and symptoms, guidelines for isolation. Fantastic lecture, sir. I hope you, all our young students in large numbers have logged in, will be motivated by this talk and will take up research in these areas. I thank the headquarters NI in Hyderabad for always supporting the chapter and encouraging us for all the programs. I thank all the participants attending the session from various parts of the country. I understand Sashi has logged in from South Africa. She is my classmate in Avinash Lingam. I am extremely happy to note and thank Dr. Kamla Krishnaswamy, the ex-director of NIN and the past president of NSI, for having participated in this event. I'm also extremely thankful to Dr. Bamji, Dr. Kausalya from Avinash Lingam, who have logged in and is with us. Thank you, ma'am. Last but not the least, I'm very grateful to Lakshmi Jitendran and family for all the technical support they have handled by themselves. A few announcements before you leave. As part of the World Breastfeeding Week, NSI Bangalore chapter have different programs planned. One, there will be a 5-day webinar series on the first 1,000 days delivered by eminent speakers who are researchers and doctors in this area. We have speakers from St. John's, NI in Hyderabad, Kangaroo Care, IYCF, and from Pune. Please block your calendars. The details of this webinar series will reach your inbox soon. A second program in the pipeline will be a pediatric nutrition course, and both these programs will be before August 20th. Kindly fill in the feedback form shared in the chat box, and it will be active only for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Today's recordings will be available in NSI Bangalore YouTube within 2 days. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay at home. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to have 2 minutes, okay. I really thank Dr. Dinesh. Always he was a very good support for our chapter. When he was as secretary also of NSI, he used to be, be with us whenever we asked for some programs to support us. He has always been, a great support. Even now, when I asked, sir, we are starting the NSI chapter activities, we want to have you as the first speaker. Immediately didn't even ask the date. When you want, madam, okay. I will mark the calendar and I will give it. No issues at all. Thank you, sir, for all your great support for the chapter. And also I thank all the conveners of the different chapters, because here we have a lot of NSI members, not only from Bangalore, across India, they have been here. So thank you for all their support. I thank my co-convener, Ms. Mary Reggie, and the treasurer, Lakshmi Jitendran, for taking this event forward and making it a good success. Thank you, one and all. We look forward to you, all your support in the future activities too. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Feedback link will be activated till 15 minutes. So I have posted in the chat box also. Thank you. Video off.
Lakshmi, unmute sir video. And Mary
He
Reggie
can
also.
only do, ma'am. He can do.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you all just come? Vali ma'am, Mary ma'am, please activate your video, no?
Where is Mary? Take a pic, Lakshmi.
Mary ma'am.
Mary.
You're not able to fill the feedback link.
Lakshmi.
हाँ ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, unmute. Where is my?
Lakshmi,
Yes, ma'am.
you can.
Ma'am, 1 second. Some of them are telling feedback, no, but I think most of them can fill up the link only. I will post once more.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can mute sir. Lakshmi.
Ma'am.
You can mute sir's video.
He has to do, ma'am. Wait 1 second. Just participants, if you have filled the feedback form, you can leave the meeting. Thanks. Yes.
Lakshmi, come on video.
Ma'am.
Mary, come on, Mary. Take one pic.
Ma'am, some of them are telling not able to fill the form. Let me just see, no?
Yeah.
I think if they are opening in iPad or something, the problem, because Shobha ma'am, no, she was just trying to tell me.
From RJ to everyone, some answer she wants.
Whether they can leave there. I said, ma'am.
Can you share PPT or video recording? Okay, those that have registered participants, we can share it.
Ma'am, I will just chat the answer.
Yeah, chat.
Video recording. First feedback on it's working.
Feedback is working. Mary, tell me. இல்ல நடுவுல நீங்க போயிட்ட போட்டோ எடுக்க வேண்டியது இருந்துச்சு அதுக்கு கூப்பிட்டேன்.
Lakshmi. Bye.
Wait, Mary. Lakshmi. Lakshmi, ஒரு click. Lakshmi, wait. Uma is there. Uma, thanks. Uma, can you hear me? She is muted. Okay. We will leave.
Shall we leave?
Lakshmi, unmute. Unmute. Lakshmi.
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am.
If you-
Participants, I hope that
yeah.
link is filled. I have posted couple of times.
Yes. I think by now they must have finished, Lakshmi.
Okay, fine. If you have finished, you can leave because we are waiting for you to fill the form only. Certificate will come within 2 weeks to your mail ID if you have given proper email ID in the feedback link.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Ma'am, 1 second. Somebody is,
Why they are not able to do? So many times we have given the
yeah, yes.
3-4 times.
Enough, ma'am. I think.
Yeah, 3-4 times you have posted
Yes,
already.
yes.
Yeah, okay. Professor Andalu is here, I think, from Satya Sai Institute. Madam, are you here?
Yes, she's there, but I
Yes.
think she's mute only, ma'am.
They have to unmute themselves or
Yes.
we have to.
No, I can do it. But
Uh-huh.
whether she's there.
Okay.
Okay.
Uma is also there. Uma is also there.
Yeah.
Dr. Usha Devi is also there.
Usha Devi, ma'am, I can
Yeah,
see.
there it is, Usha. I can see. Usha, are you here?
She's there.
Okay. Usha. Okay. Lakshmi.
Okay, bye. Okay, participants, waiting to see you all for the August 1st week marathon webinar series. Thank you. Bye.
Rishi, Lakshmi, tell Jitu.
Yes, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
We will leave Lakshmi.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.